So as you guys know, Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high-ranking witch.
Well, it's obviously they've been controlled by Satanism. I mean, I'm not really scared to say that. We all know Luciferians, Freemasons, and all occult knowledge that was drugged up from Egypt have now surfaced itself in American society. And if you actually dig through the raps, like as I have, before it was all about partying, popping bottles. But when you listen to it again with a new ear, obviously they're not serving the same most high God that I am. And that's what makes us enemies, that I stand for a completely different doctrine, a completely different nation, and a completely different truth than he does. I don't have any materialism attached to my spirit or soul anymore. I don't have fornication attached to my spirit anymore. I mean, I just got engaged July, so my life is completely different from how I was with women in the early 2000s. And I think that is the difference in itself of being involved with Rockaware has made me see something completely different, and knowing who his allegiance is with, it's not the Most High God. And we all know, Satan.
I think she
went and killed the girl cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep.
For years, Beyonce has carried herself as untouchable. The flawless queen of pop culture, the superstar whose image was polished so sharp, you could practically see your reflection in it. But there's always been another story running under the surface, whispered in interviews, tossed around in lawsuits, and blurted out by ex-associates. The idea that Beyonce isn't just running on talent, money, and strategy, but on something darker. That word, witchcraft, is not new either. From the moment Beyonce leaned into African spirituality imagery, from Oshun-inspired visuals to fertility goddess performances, people have been whispering. Some say it's just cultural roots. Others swear it's evidence that she's one of the most powerful witches alive, a woman who's climbed to the top not only by skill, but by bending unseen forces to her will. And when you start digging through the accusations, the restraining orders, the lawsuits, and the bizarre stories told by people who were once close to her, you realize this isn't just tabloid chatter.
Well, it's obviously they've been controlled by Satanism. I mean, I'm not really scared to say that. We all know Luciferians, Freemasons, and all occult knowledge that was drugged up from Egypt have now surfaced itself in American society. And if you actually dig through the raps, like as I have, before it was all about partying, popping bottles. But when you listen to it again with a new ear, obviously they're not serving the same most high God that I am. And that's what makes us enemies, that I stand for a completely different doctrine, a completely different nation, and a completely different truth than he does. I don't have any materialism attached to my spirit or soul anymore. I don't have fornication attached to my spirit anymore. I mean, I just got engaged July, so my life is completely different from how I was with women in the early 2000s. And I think that is the difference in itself of being involved with Rockaware has made me see something completely different, and knowing who his allegiance is with, it's not the Most High God. And we all know, Satan.
It's a full-blown mythology of Beyonce as high priestess, spellcaster, and master manipulator. The loudest spark came from her own drummer, Kimberly Thompson. Kimberly wasn't just a background player. She toured with Beyonce, worked side by side with her, lived inside that glittering machine, and when she broke away, she didn't leave quietly. She filed for a restraining order accusing Beyonce of extreme witchcraft and dark magic. She claimed Beyonce cast spells to tap her phone, sabotage her finances, and even kill her pet kitten. To skeptics, it sounded like the rant of someone spiraling. But to those who already suspected Beyonce's otherworldly power, it sounded like confirmation. After all, who else but a witch could allegedly hold an employee's entire life in her grip, controlling relationships, jobs, and pets from the shadows? The court denied Kimberly's restraining order, not surprising considering witchcraft isn't exactly a recognized legal argument. But the denial didn't erase the story. If anything, it gave it more oxygen. Fans started combing through Beyonce's performances, pointing at every glowing eye, every pyramid, every Egyptian goddess reference. Was it art or was it evidence? And Kimberly wasn't alone. In a separate lawsuit, a woman named Shanaz Mangro accused producer The Dream of sexual abuse and manipulation.
Oh.
Her claims were shocking enough on their own, being locked in hotel rooms, pressured into submission, monitored like property. But buried in her lawsuit was a peculiar line that pulled Beyoncé's name directly into the narrative. According to Shanaz, The Dream credited his bond with Beyoncé to a spiritual sanctuary they shared. He described it as a ritual-like connection, stronger than marriage, rooted in secrets and trust, so powerful that he knew about Beyoncé's pregnancy before Jay-Z himself. That claim hit differently, because suddenly it wasn't just Kimberly pointing at witchcraft. Here was another voice suggesting Beyoncé's success wasn't simply about talent or hustle. It was about rituals, sanctuaries, hidden bonds, a spiritual network that operated deeper than contracts and record deals. Then there's Larry Johnson, Jay-Z's former NFL protege and insider, who has been one of the boldest in calling out what he sees as the couple's true allegiance. Larry has claimed for years that Jay and Beyoncé are not only dabbling in dark practices, but are completely invested in Satanism. According to him, the party lifestyle, the champagne, the lyrics about wealth and power weren't just surface fun. They were codes, signals of allegiance to forces far beyond music. He says once he stepped away from the industry and looked back with new eyes, everything clicked. The Freemason imagery, the Egyptian symbols, the rituals woven into performances. To him, it was obvious. They weren't serving God, they were serving something else.
Walker has been being handled for years. He was a part of her management team. They allowed all kinds, and they sent her down there to Erykah Badu's house to be cast spells on out graves and letting that woman give birth her babies and keep all of that placenta.
Oh, she kept the placenta?
That's what she does. Ain't nobody ever thought. Ain't nobody ever asked what she does with all them umbilical cords and all of that placenta from birthing Tiana Taylor's babies. Oh, Illuminati babies. Summer Walker's babies. Oh, Illuminati babies. It's a damn shame Toomey and Fat let her get around them. They ain't been right ever since.
Larry's words echo what critics have whispered for decades. Beyoncé's performances are filled with iconography. Pyramids, all-seeing eyes, goddesses rising from water, fire and moon rituals on stage. Her 2017 Grammy performance had her dressed like Oshun, golden halo and all, pregnant and glowing like a fertility goddess. To some, it was breathtaking art. To others, it was evidence of deep occult ties, flaunted right in front of the world. And then there's Erykah Badu. If anyone could recognize witchcraft, it's her, an artist who's been called a witch herself, whose music and presence drip with mysticism. According to reports, even she has hinted that Beyoncé's power is rooted in spiritual practices the public barely understands. Maybe it takes one to know one, right? When people like Erykah nod in that direction, it makes the whispers louder. The scariest part is how many people claim Beyoncé doesn't just use these powers to elevate herself, but to sabotage others. Kimberly Thompson swears Beyoncé destroyed her life and career. Internet rumors have tied her to artists whose careers mysteriously crumbled after crossing her. And the darkest whispers suggest she's even gone as far as to remove rivals permanently. The ugliest kind of accusation, one that can never be proven but never quite disappears. It doesn't help that her husband Jay-Z has faced the same accusations. Former allies like Larry Johnson insist Jay is knee-deep in occult knowledge, steeped in Freemason rituals, quoting Egyptian texts not as art but as allegiance. Together, the two of them form the perfect storm, a couple whose empire stretches so far, it feels like no earthly explanation could account for it all. To believers, the explanation is simple. It isn't earthly.
I want to talk about what that witch bitch. I was over there at White Rock just last night with my man. I took him over there and I said, isn't this lovely?
Very nice over there.
Never outside. Yeah. Find me one picture in Dallas of Erykah in her lovely neighborhood.
In addition, Jag also suggests
Even lawsuits not directly about witchcraft keep circling back to this idea of hidden sanctuaries, dark bonds, and spiritual allegiances. It's like a drumbeat in the background of Beyoncé's career, one that won't stop no matter how many Grammys she wins or how many flawless photos she posts. Now, of course, plenty of people laugh it off. They say it's projection, bitterness, or plain delusion. Kimberly's restraining order was denied. Shanaz Mangrove's lawsuit was a mess of accusations that never made it far in court. Larry Johnson is dismissed by critics as a disgruntled ex-insider. And Erykah Badu? Well, she's been accused of the same witchcraft herself. But here's the thing. When so many voices from so many different corners start humming the same tune, it's hard to ignore the melody. And Beyoncé doesn't make it easy to dismiss. She leans into the imagery, doubling down with visuals that look like spells brought to life. She doesn't hide from goddess symbolism. She doesn't avoid the pyramids, the halos, the occult iconography. She puts it front and center, daring you to decide, is this art or is this confession? So when people ask if Beyoncé practices witchcraft, the answer depends on what you believe. If you think it's all symbolism, then it's just theater. Powerful, cultural, and rooted in history. But if you believe the whispers, the restraining orders, the lawsuits, the insiders, then it looks less like theater and more like ritual. And the scariest part? If even half of what these people say is true, then Beyoncé's empire isn't just built on music and talent. It's built on forces most of us can't even see.
Like, I have a recent post that I just put up, and then somebody was talking about, oh, so now you saying that Daniel Jones, and we gonna see what the family say about that. And they were in my comments, like, trying to make it seem like I'm inflaming what happened to Daniel Jones' life in some way, like I'm trying to make it out to be more than what it is. And the only person that would make that kind of statement would be somebody that's affiliated with Erykah Badu. I mean, Daniel Jones did die on the road with her last year.
When it comes to Beyoncé, no conspiracy looms larger than the whispers of the Illuminati. For over a decade, fans and critics alike have dissected every lyric, every hand sign, every outfit, trying to prove that her power isn't just rooted in talent or hustle, but in a darker allegiance. And nowhere did those theories hit harder than the moment her daughter, Blue Ivy, was born. Almost instantly, the internet exploded with claims that Blue Ivy's very name was proof of satanic ties. Posts circulated insisting that if you rearranged Ivy Blue, you could spell Eily, supposedly Latin for Lucifer's daughter. Others went further, claiming her name was an acronym, BLUE, meaning Born Living Under Evil, while IVY stood for Illuminati's very youngest.
Dude, man, and when I tell you Erykah Badu was thick, respect to Doc, DLC, and Andre, but man, Erykah Badu, the thickest mother world. This before the video came out with that and all that. You know Erykah Badu was this thick. Seeing her, she thick. I'm like, damn, thick. So I'm like, shit, I'm finna bust her. I'm finna get her, feel me? Like, I'm me. Like, Doc had her, Andre had her, so I for sure could have her. Like, you know what I mean? It's crip. So, I'm telling Birdman, I'm like, man, look how thick Erykah Badu is. Like, yeah, she thick, she cold. I'm like, yeah, I'm finna go get her. So I start to get up at my shoulder. He's like, hey, man, don't do that. I'm like, why not? You don't think I could have her, nigga? Crazy guy, I could get her. I got up. He was like, nah. He grabbed me again. He's like, man, she like a witch or something, man. Feel me? She on some. And I remember looking like, man, you tripping. I'm laughing. Oh, you crazy. I looked in his face, and it did not look like it was no joke. It looked like he was serious. Like, she had some powers. And I remember just calming down, like, you know what? Let me listen to this. He's from New Orleans, Louisiana, so, they know about it.
It didn't matter that none of this had real linguistic footing. What mattered was that people believed it. And in conspiracy culture, belief is more powerful than fact. The timing of Blue Ivy's birth added fuel to the fire. Beyoncé had just performed at the VMAs with an unmistakable glow, rubbing her belly on stage in what many called the most iconic pregnancy reveal in pop history. For her fans, it was a moment of joy. For conspiracy theorists, it was a ritual on live television, a symbolic offering to the very forces they believed fueled her reign. Now here's where things take a twist. Because while people were accusing Beyoncé of raising a child destined for the Illuminati, Erykah Badu, herself long suspected of witchcraft, allegedly began co-signing some of the same whispers. The irony was rich. Erykah was hardly the person to call someone else a witch, given her own history of occult rumors. But maybe that's why it hit so hard. After all, who would know the signs better than someone accused of practicing them herself? And when you start unpacking Erykah's story, the rabbit hole gets even deeper. Take Jaguar Wright, a singer who has made headlines for her raw, no-holds-barred exposés of the music industry. Jaguar has accused Erykah of cloaking her witchcraft behind her role as a doula, a birth worker who supports women through labor. Erykah became certified in 2011 and said she never planned to make it a business, that it just kind of happened, and that she did it out of love for women and the sacredness of birth. But according to Jaguar, that certification wasn't just about helping mothers. It was a convenient cover for ritual practices. Jaguar claims Erykah doesn't just help deliver babies, she keeps the placentas, not just one or two, but all of them. She specifically named Summer Walker, alleging that Summer's management team sent her to Erykah for guidance, where Badu allegedly performed spells and chants involving graves and kept her children's placentas afterward. Jaguar even extended the claim to Teyana Taylor, insisting that Erykah has her children's placentas too. And in conspiracy circles, placentas are no small detail. They're often tied to rituals about life force and spiritual power. The allegations didn't stop there. Jaguar accused Erykah of rarely stepping outside, saying that true witches prefer the dark, prefer solitude, and that you'd be hard-pressed to find a single photo of her simply enjoying her Dallas neighborhood. To most people, that's a reach. To Jaguar, it was another clue. She even suggested Erykah was involved in the suspicious death of Daniel Jones, tying his passing to a blood sacrifice. Whether you believe Jaguar or not, the fact that she tied such a tragic event back to Erykah only deepened the aura of fear around her. And then there's Glasses Malone, who told a story that sounded straight out of a folklore book. He described seeing Erykah for the first time and being overwhelmed by how magnetic she was. He admitted he was ready to approach her, convinced he could charm her, when none other than Birdman grabbed his shoulder and told him flat out, "Don't do that. She's like a witch." Glasses laughed it off at first, but when he saw the seriousness in Birdman's eyes, a man from New Orleans where voodoo has deep roots, he paused. For someone like Birdman, that wasn't a metaphor. It was a warning. Erykah hasn't exactly denied any of this either. In fact, she's played into it. When she posted a playful video hyping herself up for the Soul Train Awards in 2016, one fan commented that her hat was clearly a witch hat, saying celebrities who wear them are signaling their allegiance. Instead of brushing it off, Erykah replied simply, "I'm a witch." Then there's the perfume. In 2020, Erykah Badu launched a fragrance on her online store designed to smell like her private parts. It sold out within minutes. When asked why she did it, her answer was both tongue-in-cheek and loaded with mystique. "First of all, I'm Erykah Badu," she said. "Secondly, in this industry, it's a legend that my box changes people. It changes their religion, their politics, everything. So I feel like everybody deserves it." And she wasn't joking about the process. She told 10 magazine she literally cut up her old underwear, burned them, and used the ashes as part of the formula. That wasn't just marketing, that was ritual. So when people hear that Erykah is allegedly co-signing the rumors about Beyoncé's witchcraft, it lands differently. It's not just one outsider pointing fingers, it's one alleged witch recognizing another. And that adds a whole new layer to the Beyoncé narrative. Because if you connect the dots, the accusations against Beyoncé, Kimberly Thompson's claims of spells, lawsuits hinting at spiritual sanctuaries, Larry Johnson's accusations of Satanism, the Illuminati theories about Blue Ivy, all of it now has a chorus in the background. And that chorus includes people like Erykah Badu, Jaguar Wright, and even Birdman, all hinting that witchcraft and rituals aren't just rumors in the music industry, they're a reality. And here's the kicker. Beyoncé doesn't hide from the imagery. She amplifies it. Oshun gowns, goddess halos, fire rituals, pyramids. Every performance feels like a spell, every music video like a ritual captured on film. To her fans, it's art. To her critics, it's evidence. And when someone like Erykah Badu, who openly admits to burning underwear for perfume and jokes about being a witch, even hints at Beyoncé being involved in similar practices, it strengthens the conspiracy in a way that's hard to ignore. So whether you believe it or not, here's the reality. The whispers aren't going away. Blue Ivy's name is still dissected on forums. Kimberly Thompson's restraining order is still cited as proof. Larry Johnson's interviews are still floating online. And Erykah Badu's aura of mysticism continues to feed the narrative that some of the most powerful women in music don't just run the charts, they run the spirit world too.